Hey, what's up, guys? This is Thomas FL, coming on here to make another review on some of my favorite paddles that I've been using over the last, I would say, basically 5 or 6 months. When foam paddles first came out, the True Foam Genesis was the coolest thing on the market. I got it right away, and I loved that paddle, and I mained it for like 6 months, or even maybe 7 months. But then all these other foam paddles started coming out. The Ripple, which had a whole bunch of issues, but then I don't know. Foam paddles just started coming out from all directions. So just wanted to give a review. These are all foam paddles, so they'd be considered Gen 4 paddles. And I'm just gonna give my opinions on each and every one of these. There's some of these paddles are super cheap. Some of them are pretty expensive. So I'm just gonna talk about them. How it's all gonna be one cut too. So okay, so my son's sleeping, so I have him on the camera over there. Hopefully I don't wake him up. But the first paddle I wanted to talk about is the J3NF. It's a 16 millimeter wide body paddle, so 16 inches by 8. This paddle plays really good. It has a long handle, so you could easily get 2 hands on this thing. And it plays very similar to like the NF. So if you see any reviews of anyone's with the NF, this is literally the same paddle. It's just most people prefer the J2NF, which is the hybrid, but not a lot of people talk about this J3NF, and I think it's a real slept-on paddle, and I think it's on sale on the Honolulu website, and with the code, use my code, brings it down even more. So this paddle is super affordable, and it's just all around plays really good, consistent off the face. But it doesn't have insane level power. It's like barely a power paddle or like high end control, and it's kind of beefy. Weighs I think this weighed at 8.1, but if you add too much weight up here to really try to get more power out of it, then it starts getting a little slow in the hand. I think because it has such a long handle and a big face. But if you just keep it weight minimal, like right here I just have half a gram up to here, this paddle plays great. It's like an all-around control paddle, but if you really swing into it, you can put the ball away, no problem. So this is a good paddle. Then literally my favorite paddles up until the last 5 days have been these Rhombus Quantas. I mean, they're only $110, and then you can use a code, and they're like down to $100. These paddles are so good, but you do need to add weight. They come around 7.6 ounces. Basically, they're unplayable when you first get them. You need to add weight, and it takes a while to dial in what weight works best for you. But usually I find that once the paddle breaks in, which a lot of these foam paddles, they kind of break in, they settle in, and the sweet spot gets a little bit bigger after about 20 hours of play, then you can really find what weight setup works good on that paddle. Because in the beginning I tried so many different weight setups on pretty much all these paddles, and I really don't like any of them. But then once I notice that the paddle starts breaking in and it starts getting softer and the sweet spot widens, then I notice that I can find what weight setup really works, and I stick with that weight setup probably for like the whole life of the paddle. But in the very beginning, it's hard to tell when a paddle's brand new when it's a Gen 4 construction, because it hasn't broken in yet. So like weight doesn't matter as much. So I would say that this Quanta plays like a boomstick. Literally, if you hear it, it sounds just like a boomstick too. Sorry, my son is like about to wake up, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be talking out here. He's only 20 months old. So yeah, this plays like a boomstick. The funny thing is Rhombus came out with all black Quanta. It's supposed to be the same paddle, but it plays way different. So their black Quantas, I would say, play very similar to the Locos, like very similar. The blue Quantas, I think they're going to all black though, starting soon. Could be wrong, but I think they are going to all black. So this information might not apply for long. But blue plays just like a boomstick. Black plays just like a Loco. And it's crazy because they didn't say that these paddles were supposed to play any different either. They just said, oh, we're coming out with the black version. And these are the same exact shape. And listen, you can hear the difference. And both of these paddles have a lot of hours on them, so they're broken in. But I'm not gonna bounce it too much because my son is about to be waking up. But listen, this is the black one. Now this is the blue one. It's way thuddier and it does have a little bit more power and a little bit more dwell as well than the black Quanta. Both of these paddles have been my mains for like the last, basically since they came out, they've been my main. They're both amazing paddles and they're so cheap. The only issue I have is, you know, all these companies are coming out with this new permanent grit texture, which seems like it's just not like a gimmick. It seems like it's actually legit. Like these permanent grits are lasting much longer, like multiple times longer. You know, there's a lot of videos out right now of John Q and some of the other big YouTubers that are showing that like some of these new paddles, the grit is, after 100 games, it's only going down by like 4%, where roll carbon goes down by up to like 30%. So that's a huge difference. So this blue paddle, the one that plays like the boomstick, it's pretty smooth here. There's hardly any spin on it anymore, and that's an issue because this paddle has so much power. So like when it's brand new or just barely broken in, it's ideal or it plays so nice to have so much power, and it has enough grit to where the ball stays in on your drives and everything. But as soon as the grit wears off, this paddle still has a lot of power, but now you're losing 500 RPMs, you know, spin on the ball. So now you're either are playing a lot softer because you can't really lay into your drives because they're going to go out, or that's basically what it is. You just have to play a lot softer. And yeah, so that's the difference between these two. I mean, I would recommend these paddles 100 times over. They're such good paddles, and they're only $100. Okay, and then here's my next paddle rant is the Barrage. Okay, so I got this paddle right when it came out, and I don't know what to say about it, honestly. Like, I hate like not like saying a paddle is really good, but like I always say how I truly feel, so I'm not just gonna say this paddle's the best, if you know what I mean. But so I do not like this paddle. I've tried it. I've let multiple people try it. Actually, a couple of my friends did actually like it. It's like it's like more control oriented compared to the Genesis, but they were using the Genesis in the like the previous paddle, or the current paddle was the Genesis. So I would say if you are a diehard Genesis fan or Waves and you want a paddle that's, you know, plays similar. I mean, it does need weight because it's a 14 millimeter. It does twist a little bit in your hands, but I don't know. It has more power than those, but it's not consistent power. It's kind of like some people I've heard say boringy, which, I mean, I've used this paddle a lot. I've tried every different weight setup you could think of because I really wanted to love this paddle. And it's not a bad paddle, but it's also, there's just so many good paddles out right now, you know. It doesn't do anything amazing. It's like barely in the power category. If you hit it just right, you know, the ball does go flying off of it. It doesn't have permanent grit. So anyways, all that leads me into this is a good paddle overall, you know. It's not bad. If you are a diehard carbon fan, or if you want something that's 14 millimeters, you know, it's maybe a little bit faster in the hands, but in reality, some of these other paddles, like this one, for example, the Quanta is coming at 7.6 ounces from the factory, where this one's coming at 8.0, 8.1 from the factory. So this one's already at like 0.4 ounces less. So like the fact that this is 14 millimeter, it's a little faster in the hand, but this paddle's so light already. By the time you put weight on it, it could be 8.2 ounces, and you have your perfect weight set up. It's still fast in the hands. Like, the swing weight on this is insanely low, like 104 or 102 or something crazy. So I'd say the Barrage is like, it's good overall, but I mean, it's not anything that special in my opinion. So this leads me to this paddle that I've been using recently, and actually I've only used it for 2 sessions. It's the 11Six24 Pegasus Power 2. This is my new favorite paddle by far. I do have discount codes for like all these paddles. You can look in the description if you do want them. You know, use my code, that would be great. But what I do want to say is like this Pegasus Power is so good. This kind of blends. The Pegasus Power for me kind of feels like a blend of these two paddles. Besides, the most important thing is like this is using Carbon's new hex grid. So I'll insert like a video of this face. I've played about 10 to 12 games on this paddle so far. I'll try to take a video of the face after the 10 to 12 games so you can see what it looks like. But I mean, there's no scratches on it or anything. There's a little bit of ball dust, but it's interesting because if this paddle really, if the face or if the hex grid on this really does hold up like people say it does, after 100 games it only loses like 5%, then that's a freaking game changer, because this paddle after 100 games is going to be smooth as crap and still very powerful, and you can't keep the ball. I mean, you can keep the ball in, but you have to play mindful of that. You can't go as hard on a lot of hits. You can't do aggressive rolls. It gets more punchy, like punchy, because you're just trying to keep the ball in. Where if this grit lasts after 100 games and it's only down 5%, and you can still, yeah, you're just getting so much out of the paddle because it still has the power, and you still have the shot shaping ability. And there's been like 5 to 8 reviewers out right now that are showing the longevity of this. Like John Q did a review after hitting it with the ball canning in the same spot. PB Studio did one after 100 games, and I think they're still testing it more and more, and it seems like it's just holding up. I mean, I have about 3 grams in the middle here, then maybe like 2 grams up here. See my weights up there. The middle is 2.5 grams per inch, so that's kind of heavier than the top, and the bottom are 0.5 grams. But this just really, the sweet spot feels great on this paddle. The handle is long. It's not too long. It's not as long as the J3, but for like $200, then with my code, you know, Thomas THOMASFL, brings it down to, I don't know, takes off a little bit, and it's really not that bad of a deal. I mean, you're looking at like $200, and this paddle is gonna last so much longer than all of these other paddles that I've just shown you. I don't know. I think if you're in the market to basically buy a paddle in today's age, you might as well look at the permanent grit. The permanent grit. I mean, I don't know if they call this permanent grit, but the permanent grit is like the Spartus P1 paddle, but this is called hex grit. And then 60 has their diamond tough grit or whatever, which my buddy has the 60, and if you've ever felt that, it feels like sandpaper. This one, it does not feel like sandpaper. Yeah, it feels rough, but it's not like a sharp rough. It's almost like a soft rough. It's so weird. It hardly makes any sense, but it feels I don't know, it feels insanely different than all these paddles. But I mean, I could shape the ball really good on this. It has about the power level between the blue and the black Quanta combined. So I would say this is with weight on the side though. I heard if you don't put weight, like a good amount of weight on the side, like MOI weighting, like the boomstick has, you're not gonna get that type of power. But with good weight on the side of this Pegasus, I'm getting power between a loco and a boomstick, which is really good. Like that's a lot of power. It seems pretty consistent off the face, and this is still not fully broken in. I think I have 10 to 12 hours, so I like to think the paddle's broken in after, I have like 10 to 12 games. I like to think the paddle's broken in after like 10 to 20 hours, because it'll settle in, the sweet spot gets bigger, especially on the Gen 4 paddles. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just going on a pickleball rant. I doubt you probably watched this whole thing, but if you do main wide bodies, I would totally look at these paddles. I mean, the new paddles from 11Six24, they have the Vapor, which is a good shape. Oh, also this is technically a wide body, so it's not a standard shape. Standard shapes, standard shape is going to be 8 inches by 16 inches, and this is actually like 15.8 something by like 8.15 or 8.1, so it's actually a little bit wider than a standard shape and a little bit shorter. And I'm not even the biggest fan of this shape, honestly. Like, I really like the Rhombus with the squared shape. All these other paddles have the squared off top. And I think if any of these Quantas come out with, or if Rhombus comes out with very similar paddles to these, but with their type of permanent grit, these are going to be just as good as this, or maybe even a little bit better. But I don't know, or just as good. But yeah, I would say this is probably one of the best wide bodies on the market right now. It plays really good. It has a lot of power. It's consistent power, and it has the hex grip, which is gonna last. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you stood through this long, I don't know why you would watch this whole video where I'm just rambling about stuff, but I'm just kind of uploading stuff kind of for my own fun, and yeah, I'm not really too serious about it. So, but all right, thanks, and give a like and subscribe. If you want to use my code on any paddles, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, have fun.